There we go then. Fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to start with just something nearby that I can sit on this morning because we are going to start seated. Now, I'm not checking my messages. I want to have something here that I can read to you. So I'm a great believer in how you start your day, almost set the tone for the day ahead. And so I don't like to wake up with an alarm. I like to wake up really calmly. I like to spend a moment kind of sleep with the window open, listening to the bird song outside. And it's kind of a really gentle way to begin the day. And I know if I do on the odd occasion have to be woken up by an alarm clock, I feel really jangled for the rest of the day. And I'm reading a beautiful book at the moment. It's called Seed to Dust by an author called Mark Hamer. And I very nearly didn't pick it up because the subtitle said A Gardener's Story underneath. I thought, well, I'm not really a gardener, so is this one for me? But it's absolutely beautiful. He is a gardener and he's gardened the same acreage for, I think, 15 years or so. It's a private garden. And the book is a month by month, season by season account of how he nurtures the space, his relationship with the things that he's growing, with the animals he encounters, and with the people around him, including the elderly lady who owns the garden. It's absolutely beautiful. But he wrote a section that's really stuck with me, and it's about how he starts his day. So I just want to read it to you. And so kind of today, maybe think about, the way you're moving your body, the way you want to feel at the end of your practice, the way you want to carry what you practiced on your mat into the rest of the day. So this is how Mark Hamer describes his day, or one of his days. I start the day as it breaks, and I write about it often, drawing the imperfect circle over and over again. Yesterday is the distant past, and I start the day from where I am, not where I was. And here I am at breakfast, writing notes with the day ahead of me and the night behind me. I think daybreak is the finest time, when she and I are warm together, cosy and waking to the first unedited line of the circular poem of this day and all our days. I focus in, and every waking is a birthday, joyous and newly born. I make her tea and we chat. And I just thought that was such a lovely description of his day and how he calmly begins his day. Jad's coming in now. So let that kind of frame your practice today. Come on in, Jad. And we are going to start seated. Let's see if we can begin our day in an equally calm and measured way. So I'm going to sit cross-legged. I'm going to pop something underneath my bottom to slightly lift my hips up, but feel free to lean up against a wall. Or if you're desperate to, just lie down if sitting is really uncomfortable. If you're seated with me and you've got your legs crossed, just bring your hands onto your thighs. If you've got your legs stretched out, just bring your hands down alongside you. So just for a moment, press your hands down and gather your shoulders up towards your ears. So almost invite tension in. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly release the shoulders. Really feel that tension relax. We'll do that twice more. So as you inhale, shrug the shoulders up, up, up. You can always lift your hands off the floor. And exhale, really feel the shoulder blades drawing down the back. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, gather up any residues of yesterday. And exhale to release. And then bring your hands into a comfortable position. They might be on your knees, they might be on your lap. Wherever feels the most comfortable for your shoulders, somewhere where you can continue to keep your shoulders relaxed. Now feel everything that's touching the earth, your sit bones, maybe the backs of your thighs, really rooting down, and then just pick up your chest a little bit so you feel yourself growing a little taller, shoulders stay soft. Allow your chin just to drop forwards a little bit without folding in on yourself. And I invite you to close your eyes, or maybe just focus your gaze on the floor in front of you, just bringing your awareness inward now for a moment. Beginning your day where you are, not where you were yesterday. Not worrying about the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Starting each day with that clean slate, I love that sense of joyousness that Mark Hamer writes about, starting each day as though it's a birthday. So as you begin to draw your awareness to that inner landscape now, lengthening up through the breastbone as you inhale and just releasing the shoulders as you exhale. We'll start with a little breath-based work this morning, and if this doesn't suit you, then you just calmly follow each inhale and exhale. If you'd like to give this a little try, take a nice deep breath in through the nose or the mouth, and release, maybe breathing out with a small sigh. And then as you breathe in, imagine breathing in from your sit bone all the way up to your heart. And as you exhale, imagine breathing from your heart all the way out through the crown of the head. And then inhaling down through the crown of the head, down into your heart. And exhaling from your heart down into your hips and your sit bones. Feel a sense of release and heaviness. So inhaling up from the sit bones all the way up to your heart. Grow a little taller. And exhaling through the crown of the head. Inhaling from the crown of the head down into your heart space. And exhaling from your heart down into your hips. Again, feeling that sense of groundedness, rootedness. Do that a couple more times. So just following the rhythm of your breath now. So you're breathing in to your heart and out through the crown of the head. And then traveling back down, crown of head to heart. And heart down into your hips. So just noticing how the body is feeling this morning, how the breath is feeling as you continue to do that little breathing practice, maybe just a few more times, beginning to settle the mind, drawing the awareness inwards. Let's do one more round like that. So breathing in, up through your hips, down, up into your heart. And exhaling, keeping the length through the spine as you exhale through the crown of the head. Breathing in from the crown of the head all the way down to your heart space. And that final exhale dropping down into your hips. So when you've completed your round, allow the breath just to settle into an easy and steady rhythm now. Take a moment there. Just notice any changes to the breath just in that short time we've had a little practice. It's a lovely one to do when you're feeling a little bit jangled. And then keeping the chin dropping down towards your chest, go ahead and simply roll the head gently from side to side, ear to shoulder, getting a little stretch out through the neck, easing out any kinks or tension that might have gathered there. And then rolling your chin down towards your chest. Think about lifting your breastbone towards your chin. Slide the shoulders back and down so you feel a lovely openness through your chest. And then from there, we'll lift the chin up. Blink the eyes open if you've not already done so. Hands down alongside you. You're going to inhale and sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, do a little cactus. Draw the elbows down in line with the shoulders, or even lower if that's more comfortable. So inhaling up. And exhaling, drawing the elbows down. They can come down a little lower if that feels more comfortable. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Lovely, we'll sweep the arms up. And this time, bring the hands behind you so you can go ahead and give your legs a little shake out there. Pop anything out from underneath you. And I'm going to cross my legs again, this time bringing my right leg in front of my left leg. I'm going to cross at the ankles, so my knees are quite wide apart and I can rest my knees on the floor. Again, you can stretch your legs out in front of you if this is more comfortable. Let's bring the hands behind you. Fingers can point forwards or out to the side. And think about lifting up through your heart space, lifting up through the chest, maybe lifting your chin. Lovely stretch through the front body. And then swing the hands around in front of you and take a little forward fold. The hands might be quite close to you. So as you inhale, you bring the hands behind you and lift your chest. And as you exhale, back body gets a stretch as you reach forwards. Now, options, as you inhale and bring the hands behind, you can lift your hips, pressing your knees down, chin stays tucked. And as you exhale, lower your hips and come into that little forward fold, keeping the hips grounded. So inhaling, hands come behind, you can lift your hips if you wish. And then exhaling, stretching out through the front body. Let's do that twice more, beginning to open up across the collarbones, open up into the hips. If you're lifting your bottom off the floor and getting a nice stretch through the back. So one more, inhale. And when you find your next forward fold, let's pause there. So some of you might be up on your hands, some of you might be able to come down onto your forearms or stretch the arms out in front of you. Can you wiggle the weight back into your hips so your bottom isn't lifted? Just let your head drop. Oh, and take a couple of breaths there, breathing some space into the back of the body now. And then from there, we're going to come into a little twist. So you can always lift your chest up and prop yourself up on your hands or stay down on your forearms. And as you inhale, let's float the right arm up and out to the side, opening up through the chest and the back. And exhale, bring the hand down. Other side, so you're reaching the arm up like a big wingspan there. And coming down, lovely. One more each way. So inhale, lift the arm up, up, up. And exhale, release. Last time, left arm lifting. And then coming all the way down, lovely. Walk the hands back. Bring the hands behind so you can stretch the legs out, give them a little shake, shake. And then cross them the other way, left in front of right. Again, I'm crossing my feet quite close together, so my knees are quite wide. We'll try that with the other leg in front. So hands come behind. Inhale as you open the chest, option, lift your hips. And as you exhale, we swim the arms in front and take a little forward fold. So inhaling, lifting your chest, maybe lifting your hips, little squeeze at the top. And then exhaling. So moving with your breath, you might be moving faster or slower. You might take a couple of breaths in each posture, if that feels nice this morning. So you do whatever feels good, whatever's right for your body. We're going to do that twice more. All opening through the chest, beginning to build up a little weight bearing in the wrist as well. So we'll do that one more time. So hands come behind. Last time to maybe lift your hips up. And then we'll all meet in that forward fold. So go ahead and walk your hips back. If you've got your legs extended, you just come into a nice forward fold over the legs. No problem. Easing your way down. Try not to lift your bottom off the floor there. You might notice one side feels a little different. And then let's try that little twist. So this time let's start with the left arm, lifting up as you inhale. Oh, that feels good. Exhale, come down. Other side, so a little opening up through the chest. And exhale, come down. Let's do one more each way. So you might be quite high up on your hands if that gives you more space to maneuver this morning. That's okay. All the way up. Beautiful. All the way down. Bring the hands behind you. And just give the legs a little shake. And then we'll walk the feet back in towards you. So your feet a little further forwards of your knees and your hands are once more behind you. You can always come up onto fists if that's more comfortable. So again, building up a little bit of strength in the upper body. And then again, press into your hands, open up through the chest, but this time, option to slide your bottom towards your heels and lift your hips up. Go ahead and walk your feet a little further away from you if you need to. And then we'll come all the way down. So Sonia, if this pains your shoulder, you just keep your bottom on the floor. Same for everyone. Inhaling, opening the chest, maybe lifting the bottom off the floor. And exhale, coming down into a little supported plank. Twice more. So maybe your tailbone is roughly level with the backs of the knees. Try not to lift your toes off the floor as you lift your hips. So last one, inhaling, lifting up. And exhaling, coming all the way down. Walk your feet a little further away from you. Hold on around the front or the backs of the knees. And just take a moment to round your back, leaning away from your knees, making that lovely hollowing out through the belly. Beautiful little counter stretch. And then from there, we'll find our way round onto all fours. So this morning, I've made a class that's composed of lots of little flows that we can really tune into our breath, starting our day in a real kind of state of flow and in tune with our natural rhythms. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Go ahead and spread your hands nice and wide. Lots of space, beautiful. And we'll come into our cat and cow. So as you inhale, let's lift the chest, let the tailbone lift, belly drop. And exhale like an angry cat, rounding the spine. Just go ahead and work with your breath now, maybe closing your eyes here so you can feel that movement rippling up and down the length of the spine and through the front body. Nice lengthening through the front body as you inhale. And a nice stretch between the shoulder blades as you exhale, lovely. Let's do that a couple more times. Or keep pressing into your hands as you bring your chest forwards. Let's do that once more. So inhaling, heart pulling forwards, bottom lifting. And the next time we're in the angry cat, let's all pause there. So rounding through the spine. And if this is okay for your back, start to gently move your hips from side to side, like you're wagging a tail. And maybe even start to bring your ear towards your shoulder. So you're making a little C shape through the body. Lovely 1, 2, stretch into the lower back, stretch into the hip. And then we'll come back through the center. Keep that rounding through your spine, tuck your toes under, hands stay where they are. Just lower your heels toward your hips, towards your heels. They might not touch. And then gently just have a little rock from side to side. So a little massage across the balls of the feet there. So it's not a completely resting child pose, but that kind of shape we've got. Lovely. And then we'll come forwards onto all fours. Go ahead and flatten the feet. Take an inhale. And this time as you exhale, find your child pose, feet flat to the floor. Go ahead and walk your hands forwards if that serves you today, coming onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs so your palms and elbows are lifted off the floor. Draw the shoulders away from the ears if you're taking that option. And take a couple of nice deep breaths into the back of the body and the side of the body. It's almost like that accordion sensation of the body expanding outwards and upwards as you inhale. And that sense of kind of folding back in on itself as you exhale. Lovely. And then let's bring the hands to the floor. Find our way back onto all fours. Now, if you don't want to do a downward dog today, feel free just to flow between little cow pose and then coming back into child pose. So if this is your option, you'll inhale and come forwards. And exhale, find that child pose. If you're with me, let's add on a downward dog. So from all fours, let's inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, tuck the toes, start to lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Back down onto all fours as you inhale. And as you exhale, flatten your feet. Let's all take a child pose. And again, inhaling, coming forwards and up, maybe with a little arch in the back. Exhale. Lift the hips, downward dog. So you're looking back between your knees there. Inhaling, looking forwards as you lower your knees. And exhale back into that child pose. A couple more times. So can you flow with that rhythm of your breath? Inhaling. Exhaling as you maybe push the hips up and back. Take a downward dog. Back down onto all fours. Nice breath in. And exhale, finding that child pose. Let's do that one more time. Using your breath as a guide. If you don't want to do a downward dog, you can stay on all fours, that's fine. Just move between your cow pose and your child pose. And that's where we'll all meet, coming into a child pose. Hips towards your heels. Go ahead and move your bottom over to the right. And take both hands over to the left side of your mat. Again, making that little C shape through the spine. Hands might be apart, or bring your right hand on top of your left hand and gently push the heel of the hand away from you as you drop that right armpit down. And take a couple of nice deep breaths into the side of the body. I can feel that right down between my ribs. Oh, that feels nice. Just stretch it all out. And then coming back through the middle, we'll shift the hips to the left, hands to the right, maybe left hand on top of right hand this time. Again, I'm just gently pushing my heel of the hand away from me so I can hug my hips back, especially that left hip towards the left heel. Dropping the left armpit down. Lovely. And then from there, we'll come back to the middle, back onto all fours, and back into your downward dog, if that serves you this morning. If not, you can stay on all fours. Maybe your downward dog, start to walk your dog, have a little pedal out through the feet, bending one knee, and then bending the other. Maybe a little shake of the head, just releasing tension there. And then from there, let that become a walk to the top of the mat, into a forward fold. So go ahead and bend your knees really generously, cradle your elbows, let the head hang, and just let yourself melt down over your legs. If you want a little stretch for your wrists and for your hamstrings and for your upper back, have a little play with me now. It's called gorilla pose. So keep the knees deeply bent. Bring the back of the hands to the floor with your fingertips pointing towards you. And then go ahead and slide your hands under your feet so your toes are resting on your wrist creases. So keep that generous bend in the knees, and maybe have a little piano playing on your wrists with your toes, a little wiggle, 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 just to massage the wrists. And now if you want to add a little bit more, start to straighten the legs, push the hips up, and at the same time, press the balls of the feet down into your wrists. So you're almost grounding your hands down, feeling a stretch between the shoulder blades, a stretch in the hamstrings. Ooh, if you don't want to do that, just stay in your forward fold. If you're with me in that gorilla pose, go ahead and back off the stretch as you bend your knees. Take your hands out from under your feet, and we'll all slowly, slowly roll our way up. I do like a gorilla pose. It's not everyone's favorite. Let's inhale and sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, just take a little circle of the wrists as you bring your hands down like a little flamenco. So inhale, sweep the arms up, up, up. And as you exhale, just circle the wrists all the way down. Lovely. And then come to stand at the top of your mat. I'm just going to adjust the screen slightly so you can see me. Standing at the top of your mat with your hands together at the heart. So let's start our day the yoga way with a few rounds of our sun salutes. So if you don't want to do a plank this morning, remember you can lower down onto your knees. Hands to heart. Go ahead and just bring your feet hip width apart. Maybe have a little rock back and forth or side to side until you find that sweet spot where you feel really grounded through each foot. Lift your breastbone to meet your thumbs. Soften your elbows. Pull up through your breastbone. And here we go. As you inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way out and up. And as you exhale, take a deep knee bend as you hinge forwards. Bring your hands onto your shins or your thighs, coming up halfway as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down and we'll step back into a downward facing dog. As you inhale, roll the body forwards to plank or stay in your downward dog. And as you exhale, bring your knees down and then your chest all the way down to the floor. Find a little baby cobra, maybe widening your hands so you can lift your chest as you inhale and exhaling to lower. Back onto all fours, take a nice breath in and breathing out, downward dog or stay on all fours. If you're joining me in this first round of downward dog, have that little pedal out through the feet, maybe a little shake of the head, a wiggle of the hips there, keep it nice and loose. And then looking forwards, as you inhale, step or walk to the top of the mat and exhale to fold over the legs. Rise on an inhale, sweeping the arms all the way out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We'll move a little faster now. One movement, one breath. Inhaling, rising up, sweep the arms up. Exhaling, hinging forwards from the hips. Lifting up halfway as you inhale. You can use the floor or your legs. And as you exhale, we'll find a downward dog or all fours. You can stay there or roll the body forwards to plank as you inhale. Knees down, chest down as you exhale. Flatten your feet as you lift your chest. Little baby cobra, shoulders away from ears. And exhale to lower. Let's find all fours as you inhale. And lifting up and back, downward dog as you exhale. We're going to stay here for a round of breath. Maybe lift your heels up as you inhale. And as you exhale, rock the weight back as you lower your heels. And then looking forwards as you inhale, walking or stepping to the top of the mat. And folding over the legs, exhale. Let's rise up on an inhale. Hands coming down to heart. Exhale, lovely. And again, inhaling up. Exhaling all the way down. Maybe legs a little straighter this time, maybe not. Finding your halfway lift as you inhale. And again, we'll step back, downward facing dog, or all fours. Let's roll the body forwards to plank. Inhale. Knees down, chest down. Exhaling. Finding your little cobra. Keep the lower body connected to the mat. And exhale, release. Back onto all fours. And exhale, downward dog. Again, take that round of breath. Again, option, lift the heels. Rise on up. Little shift of the weight forwards. And exhale, push back as you sink the heels down. Inhaling, walking or stepping to the top of the mat. And release as you exhale. Let's rise on up. And exhale down. Bring the hands down to the heart. I'm going to add on this next time. So rise on an inhale. And come all the way down over the legs as you exhale. Finding your halfway lift as you inhale. And this time we'll stop in our downward dog or simply drop down onto all fours. You can do all of this from all fours. If you're with me in a downward dog, send your rib cage back towards your thighs. Press your hands forwards and down. And then shift your weight into your left leg. Let's take the right leg up. And then bending the knee, turning the knee up towards the ceiling as you drop your heel towards your bottom. So it's like a little dog peeing on a lamppost. Send your rib cage back towards that supporting leg as you press down evenly through the hands. Lovely. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the knee to your chest as you shift the weight forward. You can do this from all fours. Inhale, take the leg all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest, shifting the weight forwards. Lovely. Last time, inhale. And this time as you exhale, step or help your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Go ahead and pick it up and give it a hand if it doesn't get there. Now slide that left foot back and then lower the knee all the way down to the floor. So I'm in a lizard pose. Beautiful. So let that left hip drop down and keep your chest lifted. So you might be up on your fists. Option, turn your right toes out on the diagonal. And maybe come onto the outside of the foot as you allow the knee to roll open. Other option, right hand comes to the inside of the knee. Start to turn your chest up towards the ceiling. And final option, reach the right arm up and then lean back a little way. So you're finding a nice stretch through the side body and into the hip. Beautiful. Bring both hands down inside of that right foot and turn the right toes to point forwards. Take an inhale as you lift your chest. And as you exhale, start to move your hips back into a little hamstring stretch. Lovely. Inhale, bend the knee, rock the weight forwards. And as you exhale, move the hips back. You might need to walk your hands back a little way. So we can stay with this, moving back and forth. Or if you want a little bit more, as you inhale, bend the knee, pick up the back knee, and as you exhale, move the hips up and back into a pyramid. So you can keep the back knee down or lifted. Inhale, bring the chest forwards, bend the front knee, and exhale, lift the hips up and back. Maybe straightening both legs. Choice is yours. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's all go ahead and bend that front knee. Pick up the back knee and we'll step back into a plank pose. Option to lower the knees, press into your hands, feel that little doming of the upper back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, come down onto your tummy. And from there, slide the elbows underneath the shoulders, finding a Sphinx pose. So stretch the toes away from you. And imagine you want to pull your elbows back towards the side of the ribs there. Lovely and grounded through the lower body and lifted through the upper body. So as you inhale, let's lift the chin up. And as you exhale, just drop the chin down, but keep pressing into your elbows and your forearms. So inhale, chest lifts as your chin lifts. And exhale, we just drop the chin, feeling a stretch across those little vertebrae of the neck. Option, if you want more, inhale, lift your chin. This time as you exhale, press down with your forearms. Lift your hips up, so you're pressing your knees down, and tuck your tailbone under, so you're almost making a little C shape through the back, like you're doing a sit-up. And then as you inhale, drop the hips and lift your chin. Inhale. Exhale, either just lifting the dropping the chin or drop the chin. Tuck the tailbone under as you lift your hips. Twice more, so working the core a little bit more strongly if you lift your hips. Exhale, drop the chin. Maybe lift your hips up. Lovely. We'll do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's all find that Sphinx pose for a moment. Dropping the hips, pressing the forearms down, and then widen the elbows. Rest your head on your hands and flick your feet up towards the ceiling. Have a little rock of the feet from side to side, like windscreen wipers. I think we're going to need those today. And then stretch the legs behind you. Come up onto all fours, and from there find your downward facing dog. I'm just going to turn the other way around. So knowing you can do all of that little sequence from all fours if it's too much from a downward dog. But if you're with me, let's send the left leg up this time, bending the knee so you can turn that knee up towards the sky, having a little peep under your armpit there. Press your rib cage back towards your supporting leg. Beautiful. Now ready for that little plank variation. We'll take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring your knee to your chest as you shift the weight forwards. Three-legged dog or all fours. Inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, shift the weight forwards. Beautiful. Last time, inhale. Exhale, left foot, step or help it outside of left hand. Oh, it's a long way, so give it a help. Have a little wiggle back with that right foot. So when you lower that right knee, it's well behind your hip. Chest is lifted, just allow that right hip to drop forward, so we're feeling a little stretch in the hip, or a big stretch, as the case may be. So you might stay there. You might turn the left toes out and allow the knee to roll open, so you're just on the outside edge of the foot. Left hand inside of knee, gently press it away from you. Left hand might reach up and back. Oh, getting a lovely stretch. So your chest and your knee are kind of stretching in opposite directions. Let's bring the hand down inside of front foot. And go ahead and turn the left toes to point forwards. Ready for that little hamstring stretch. So we'll inhale and lift the chest. And as you exhale, start to move the hips back. You can keep a nice deep knee bend if that works better. And then inhale, we'll re-bend the front knee. Shift the weight forwards. And exhale, move the hips back. Beautiful. So this time, bend that front knee. Option, pick up the back knee and lift your hips up, coming into a little pyramid pose. So inhale, we'll bend the front knee, back knee lifted or lowered. And exhale, move the hips up and back. Again, back knee lifted or lowered. Twice more. So lots of options. Listen to your body, listen to your hips this morning. Last time. Let's all shift the weight forwards. And from there, we'll step back into a plank pose. Option to drop down onto the knees. Again, that little doming of the upper back as you press down with your hands. Take an inhale. Exhale as you come down onto your tummy. And from there again, slide the elbows under the shoulders. We'll find that Sphinx pose. So if your back is a little tight this morning, go ahead and take your elbows further away and wider apart so your chest isn't quite so lifted there. Drawing back with the elbows, pressing down through the forearms so your chest is lifted. We'll inhale and lift your chin. And exhale, simply drop your chin down. You can stay here or inhale, lift your chin. And exhale as you drop your chin, lift your hips up. So you're tucking the tailbone under, making that little sit-up shape through the body. So inhale, drop the hips, lift your chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under as you round through the back. Lovely. Twice more, whatever variation you're doing. You might just choose to stay in a Sphinx pose this morning. Absolutely fine. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling, hips drop. And exhaling as you round up. Beautiful. Let's all return to that Sphinx pose. Feeling the weight across the hips before we take the hands under the forehead, elbows wide, or take the feet up towards the ceiling. And again, a little windscreen wiper, or you might even like to circle your feet there, having a little massage across the knees. Lovely. From there, extend the legs back behind you. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push up all fours. And from there, find your downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, let's walk the feet to the top of the mat. Now you can keep them hip width apart, or you can bring your feet together if you prefer your feet closer for a chair pose. Choice is yours. When you've adjusted your feet, rise on an inhale, sweeping the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. We're going to shift the weight back into a chair pose. So I like to keep my feet hip width apart. Other people like to bring them together. Choice is yours. Just take care that your chest isn't dipping down. And if it is happening, then just lift your hips a little higher. Beautiful. So heart stays lifted. Option, take the arms up alongside the ears. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's do that cactus arm, just as we did at the beginning. Inhale, take the arms up, staying in that chair pose. Beautiful. Exhale, draw the elbows down. Lovely. Last time, inhale. Woo-hoo. Exhale. You're going to extend the arms up, straighten the legs. An option, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Have a little balance challenge there. And then slowly lower your heels, sweep the arms all the way back down. Beautiful. Hands coming back to heart. So we're going to come into an eagle arm in a minute. Now, if that doesn't work for you in an eagle, you just bring your hands onto your shoulders. If doing that double wrap in eagle is really uncomfortable, you can just rest your hands on your shoulders and lift and lower your elbows from there. So wherever we are, let's bring the hands to the heart, feet together or hip width apart. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's revisit that chair pose. Beautiful. So shift your weight into your left foot. Now pick up your right knee and cross right leg over left leg, bringing the ball of the foot to the floor. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Beautiful. Arms come out to the side. And then we'll take that eagle, left arm wrapping on top of right arm. So left arm on top, either hands on shoulders or coming into that eagle. Beautiful. Sit down in the hips. We're going to lift the elbows. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the elbows down, round the back. And if you're in that eagle, think about sending the little finger edge of your hand down towards the floor. Beautiful. Lift the elbows up. Now, if this is too tricky for balance, bring your hands onto your hips. If you can stay in eagle, stay with me. You're going to straighten the legs. Bring your right knee up in towards your chest. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, find a warrior three. You might touch your toes down. You might be able to lift the back leg. As you lower your chest down, pop a little bend in the front knee. Still with that eagle arm, we're going to bring the back foot to the floor, spinning the heel in and the toes out. So we're in a warrior two. So go ahead and spin your chest to the front of the mat. Bend the front knee. Are we still in eagle or hands on shoulders? As you inhale, straighten the legs, lift the elbows up. And as you exhale, bend the knee, let the elbows sink down. Lovely. So inhaling, fingertips lift, elbows lift, shoulders soft. Exhaling down. Woo! One more time. Inhale. And exhale, bend the knee. Let's release the arms. Oh, that feels nice. Arms stretch out. Looking just beyond your left fingertips. Let's inhale and reach forwards. And as you exhale, take the left arm up and back, coming into a lovely reverse warrior. Inhaling into your warrior two. Exhaling, left hand or forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. Inhale, reverse the arms, left arm all the way up and back. Lovely. And exhaling, hand or forearm to thigh, or maybe coming down a little bit lower. Let's reach both arms up. We're going to straighten the legs and turn the toes forwards. Beautiful. Hands coming down to hips. Let's take an inhale as you lift your chest. And as you exhale, lead with your chest or hinge forwards into a flat back. Or if you need more support, bring your hands onto your thighs or come all the way down, fingertips to floor. So if you're with me in that flat back, we're working through the core, extending the chest forwards. We just start to bend one knee and then the other knee. So you're shifting the weight from side to side. If you can, in that flat back, if not, using your thighs for a bit of support or using the floor. Shifting the weight from side to side, getting a little stretch in the inner thighs. Then when you're ready, coming all the way to center, let's all release fingertips down to the floor. Inhale as you momentarily lift your chest. And as you exhale, find your forward fold this morning. You might keep your hands on the floor. You might bring the hands to the outside of your ankles, drawing the body down a little closer. You might feed your hands back between your legs, turning your fingertips away from you, and walk the hands back between the legs. So again, you're coming into a deeper forward fold. All of those options available. Take a couple of breaths there. And then from there, let's all walk the hands forward so you can lift your head, lift your chest up just a little way, get blood pressure going. And then hands to hips. Slowly rise on up, take a moment, let everything settle. Beautiful. Let's turn the left foot forwards, bending the knee as we come back into your warrior two. Inhale, left arm arcs all the way up and back. And as you exhale, take a big windmill down, framing the front foot. Option downward dog, or take the left leg up and back into a three-legged dog. Choice is yours. And then bring the foot down to the floor. You can stay there or join me, a little vinyasa, rolling the body to plank as you inhale. And as you exhale, come down onto your tummy. Use your knees if you need to, finding your little cobra as you inhale. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Take a moment in downward dog if you want to have a rest in child pose or all fours. Now's the time to do it, no problem. Easy breaths there. And then from there, let's walk or step to the top of the mat. Lovely. Rise on an inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Well done, team. So it's a tricky transition with the arms in eagle, requires quite a lot of balance. So feel free to bring your hands onto your hips as we try the other side. Lovely. So feet hip width or together. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, sink down into your chair pose. Now, option this time as you take the arms up is to rise up onto the balls of the feet. So you're balanced on the balls of the feet. Take an inhale. Exhale as you do that little cactus. So you can keep the heels down or heels lifted. Inhale twice more. Exhale, coming all the way down. Woo! Let's do that one more time. So it requires a lot of strength in the leg if you've got your heels lifted. This time, let's all take the arms up, rise on up. Option, if you've not already done so, is to lift your heels just for a moment. And then slowly release, coming all the way down, hands coming back to heart. Give the legs a little shake if you need to. And then we'll all revisit that chair pose. So this time, shifting weight into your right leg, we're going to pick up the left leg and cross it over. I'm going to bring the ball of the foot to the floor, hips still pointing forwards. So take the arms out to the side and then wrapping into eagle, right arm on top this time, or just bring your hands to your shoulders. So if you're finding the eagle, drop the shoulders as you lower your hips. Then let's lift the elbows, take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the elbows. We take a little curl forwards, maybe pressing the little finger edge of your hand towards your mat if you're in that eagle arm. Beautiful. Let's lift the elbows, lift the chest. Option to bring the hands to the hips. Going to stand up, bringing that left knee to your chest this time. And then we'll find our version of warrior three. So you might just touch your toes down. You might be able to lower your chest and lift the back leg. Remember, you might have your hands to your hips. Lovely. And then slowly and with control, can you land the back foot, spinning the heel and the toes out. So we're facing the long edge of the mat in your warrior two. Lovely. That's it. Straighten the legs, lift the elbows, take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, we drop the elbows down. So twice more. You can always bring your hands onto your hips if it's a little bit too much in that eagle arm, no problem at all. Let's do that once more. Inhaling up, woo! Exhaling down. Oh, and now we release the arms. Oh, that feels good. Stretch the arms out, looking just beyond your front fingertips. So as you inhale, reach forwards. And exhale, right arm this time, all the way up and over. Beautiful. Into your warrior as you inhale. And then hand or forearm to thigh. Top arm up or up and over. Inhale, take the body all the way up and back. Right arm leads the way. And exhaling, hand or forearm to thigh, or maybe we're coming down a little bit lower. Choice is yours. Let's reach both arms up towards the ceiling, turning all 10 toes forwards. Beautiful. And then we'll take a hinge forwards. This time, keeping the weight in your heels as you walk your hands forwards a little ways. So your hands are underneath your shoulders and you've got a nice long belly and long chest there. So try to come up onto the tips of your fingers and then looking towards your right hand. As you inhale, open the right arm up towards the sky and exhale, bring the hand down. Other side, so try and keep a light touch underneath the fingertips there. As we do that one more time each way, taking the right arm up as you inhale and exhale to lower. Last time with the left arm. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring the hands down. Take an inhale as you lift your chest. And as you exhale, fold yourself down. Allow the body to yield forwards. Again, you might hold on to your ankles or shins there. You might feed the hands back between the legs and come down a little deeper. Fingertips pointing away. Lovely. And then last little bit, we'll bring the fingertips forwards again so you can lift your chest, lift your head, hand to hip. Slowly rise on up. Take your time. Turn that right foot forwards. Take the arms out back into our warrior two. Last little bit, right arm up and back. Take an inhale. Exhale, big cartwheel of the hands down as you frame the foot. Downward dog, or if you've had enough, or take that right leg up and back into a three-legged dog before bringing the foot to the floor. Last call for a vinyasa. You can skip this out if you don't want to do a plank as you inhale. And exhaling all the way down. Finding your cobra inhale. And exhaling. Last time into your downward dog. Take a moment in your downward dog. Last chance to stretch out through the side of the body before we widen the feet. And then lower down onto all fours, so knees a little bit wider apart this time. Point your big toes together, ease your hips towards your heels, and maybe make a little pillow for your forehead. Take the elbows nice and wide and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. And that's a lovely one to really allow your chest to melt down. A little bit of space between your shoulder blades there as you soften into your breath. Oh, well done, team. Has that woken us up this morning? Lovely. When you start to bring the breath back onto that conscious control, let's all reach the arms straight out in front of you. Then lift your head, lift your chest so you can walk your hands back towards you. Bring the knees together and we'll drop the hips to one side and swing the legs out in front of you. Now, if you want to pop that block that you had at the beginning underneath your hips, feel free to do so. We'll pop a bend in the knees, sweeping the arms up, take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, hinging forwards into your forward fold, you might want to bend the knees and wrap your hands around the backs of your legs if your hamstrings or back feels a little tight today. Easing your way down. So no need to bounce or pull the body forwards, just allow your body to yield and soften into that fold that serves you today. Lovely, and then slowly rebuilding the spine. Now bring your right heel in and take that left leg slightly out on the diagonal with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling there. So feel an evenness across your sit bones there. Pull the toes back towards your face and we'll bring the right hand down to the floor. Let's take the left arm all the way up and over to get a lovely side stretch. Beautiful, up through the center. And then we'll swap sides. So try and relax that right knee down to the floor. Lovely, up through the center. We're going to reach both arms up. Fingertips find the floor in front of you. Now keep those toes nice and lively as you take a little forward fold. You might not come down very far without lifting that left buttock off the floor. So toes pulling back towards your face, easing the body forwards. And again, you might not go very far at all in that one. I know I find this one quite difficult to do, very tight in the hip there. And walking the hands back. Just bring the hands behind you so you can elegantly swap sides. Woo! Left heel coming in, right leg out. Toes up towards the sky. So this time left hand comes down. So stretch those toes back towards you as you reach on over. Oh, that's such a good stretch. And then we'll just come over to the other side. Beautiful. And then reaching both arms up. Are we ready for that tricky one? Fingertips find the floor. And we take a little walk forwards. And so keep those toes. My foot always wants to kind of roll outwards there. So I'm having to really think about keeping the toes, A, pointed up towards the ceiling, and B, putting back towards my face, keeping that right sit bone grounded. Lovely. And then from there, we'll walk the hands back. Hands come behind you. And this time we'll bring the soles of the feet together. So you can either keep your feet much further away from you if you're very tight in the hips, or go ahead and draw those heels in a little bit closer. So holding on to your shins, if you've got your feet a little closer in towards you, you're going to pull down with your hands, so lift your chest up. So there's a little bit of resistance through the arms. Arms are straight as you lift your chest. Beautiful. Now you might just want to stay there, pulling the chest up, trying to open the knees out, or take a little hinge forward, your nose coming towards your toes, maybe even pressing your elbows against your knees. So not all hips will like this. So again, you can always take your feet further away from you if you need a little bit more space this morning. Lovely. Then lifting your chest, bring your hands to the outside of your knees. We're going to bring the knees together. Lovely. And then finding your way down onto your back, keeping your knees bent. Ease your way down and then bring one knee and then the other in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug there as you have a massage through the low back, maybe a little rock or a circle of your knees. Now, any back issues, feel free to bring your feet down to the floor, hip width apart. If you're with me, we're going to keep the knees up towards the chest as you bring the arms out left to right. Snuggle those shoulder blades down as you drop your knees over to the right side, either keeping your knees hugged up towards your chest or go ahead and slide them a little further away from you. Maybe turn your head to look over your left arm there, untucking the shoulder blades. Ease your way down. Take a couple of nice, easy breaths into that twist. Noticing where you feel that this morning. And then reaching the arms out. Bring the knees back in towards your chest. And then over to the other side, maybe turning your head to look over your right arm this time. Oh, I got a very satisfying clunk from my back then. I got two clunks. 2 clunks the price of one. Chufa. Ease your way down. And when you're ready, bring those knees all the way back in towards your chest. As you hug your knees this time, option to bring your nose up towards your knees, coming into a little ball. And then from there, lower your head, lower your shoulders. Option to bring your feet to the floor, a little wider apart than your hips, and just rest your knees together. or go ahead and stretch both legs out in front of you. If you're stretching the legs out, have a little roll across the back of your heels there a couple of times, then let your toes roll open. Arms can be down alongside you, or you might have one hand resting on your chest and one hand resting on your belly. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, allow the back body to settle down into the floor. Starting the day from where we are, not where we were. A whole day ahead of us. Every waking, a birthday, joyous and newly born. What a wonderful way to greet each day. So a time now for the body to rest and digest, to reflect upon the practice. Trying not to let the mind play any games with you and drag you forwards into the rest of the day or pull you back into what was yesterday, over the weekend. Easy with the breath now. Maybe trying to keep that sense of calmness, that sense of equanimity with you as you proceed through the rest of your day. As you begin to deepen and lengthen the breath now. Maybe have a gentle roll across the back of your head from side to side. A wiggle of your fingers, wiggle of your toes. And then feel free to unfurl and take a moment in a lovely full body stretch. If you're seated with me, you can just reach the arms up above your head, have a little stretch. If you're lying down, go ahead and move the body intuitively. You might stretch into one side and then the other. Lovely. And then we'll all lower the arms. If you're lying down, give your knees one last squeeze. And then slowly roll yourself onto your right or your left side, wherever there's space. And then come up to seated when you're ready. Lovely. Again, just get that sense of dropping the shoulders down, lifting your breastbone up. Everything that's touching the earth feels nice and grounded. Everything from there up feels beautifully light and spacious. Let's take a nice deep breath in together, sweeping the arms up and exhaling, drawing the hands to the heart, taking a little reverent bow to one another for starting the day together, sharing a practice. And namaste. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. There we go.